Welcome to episode 5 of my Kokuji series, in which I normally teach you some of the Japanese-made kanji characters and how they are used. In this episode, however, you won't actually learn a kanji character, but rather a special symbol that is used in tandem with normal kanji characters. Namely, the symbol in question doesn't actually have a reading, but it does look like this. And if you're past learning the basic kana characters, you've likely encountered this symbol before. Now, the reason why it doesn't have a reading is inextricably linked to its usage. That is, this symbol is used to indicate that the preceding kanji character is repeated. In other words, the pronunciation of this symbol by itself is indeterminate. Therefore, for convenience's sake, I will henceforth refer to this symbol as the repeat symbol. Let's have a look at a few examples. The surname Sasaki is usually written like this. The first kanji is pronounced sa, which the repeat symbol follows. Therefore, the repeat symbol is pronounced sa as well. Another example, iroiro. The first kanji is pronounced iro, so the repeat symbol is also pronounced iro. A final example presents an exception to this pattern, hitobito. The first kanji is pronounced hito, so you'd expect the repeat symbol to be pronounced hito as well, but in fact, it is read as bito, resulting in the phrase hitobito. So it appears that we can infer a generalized rule from this example, which states that the repeat symbol adds voicing to the voiceless consonant at the onset. This rule, however, doesn't apply to all cases, which makes you wonder, then how do I know whether a consonant should be voiced or unvoiced? And the answer is, it's often impossible to tell because sometimes the repeated segment becomes voiced and at other times it remains voiceless. For instance, in kigi, the second ki becomes voiced, whereas in tata, the second ta remains voiceless. So unfortunately, you can't always tell how to pronounce the repeat symbol just by looking at the preceding character. Now that you know what this symbol is and how it is used, let me tell you a brief story that made me decide to feature a symbol that is technically not a kanji in a series that purports to deal with Japanese-made kanji characters. When I was a university student, I once had a flatmate from mainland China. One day, we were discussing the characters in our names. My flatmate, being a female, had a name containing two identical characters, which apparently connotes femininity. I wrote down her name using the repeat symbol, mistakenly assuming that the symbol was also prevalent in China. But of course, she had never seen it, so naturally, she was utterly perplexed as to why I partially modified her name. This is the story of how I learned the fact that the repeat symbol was not used outside of Japan, and given this fact, I thought I could be justified in including this symbol in this series. Before we end this short episode, an important fact must be mentioned. The repeat symbol, in fact, belongs to a whole family of symbols that serve the same purpose, and they are referred to by a plethora of names, including but not limited to odoriji, kasaneji, joji, or jomon. Let's go through each of them very quickly. These ones are used for repeating hiragana characters, while these two are used with katakana. The ones with the two dots indicate voicing. These are no longer in use, but you may come across them in old books. This symbol that looks like a squiggle indicates that the preceding two moras are repeated, although those two moras may be represented by a single kanji character. This symbol is invariable regardless of whether the repeated moras become voiced. This symbol is also seldom used nowadays. The next symbol looks like an elongated ku. It is used to indicate that multiple moras are repeated, similarly to the previous symbol, but the difference is that this one allows for more than two moras to be repeated. Finally, when typing on a Japanese keyboard, the repeat symbol shows up automatically when you type the word you need and hit the convert key. However, should you require the repeat symbol by itself for some reason, you can type onaji, meaning the same, and if you keep pressing the convert key, you will eventually spot it within the list of potential conversions. This is the end of this episode. See you next time.